Hello guys, we shall discuss problems based on three-phase induction motor. Here's the problem. A 4-pole three-phase induction motor is supplied from 50 Hz supply. Determine its synchronous speed, that is Ns. On full load, its speed is observed to be 1410 rpm. Calculate its full load slip. So here there are two things to be calculated. One is synchronous speed Ns, other is slip. Yes. Okay, remember slip is having no any unit, SI unit. If you want to calculate slip speed, then the formula will be Ns minus N. If you're going to calculate just slip, means it will be Ns minus N whole divided by Ns into 100. So here first we shall calculate synchronous speed. The formula we already know, that is Ns equal to 120 f by p, where poles are 4, whereas frequency is 50 Hz, whereas speed is 1410 rpm. So if I substitute frequency 50 over here and do the calculation, I would be getting 1500 rpm as your synchronous speed. Now it's time for what? To calculate full load slip, and the formula is Ns minus N whole divided by Ns into 100. Okay, so here Ns we have got from the earlier calculation, so it is 1500, and again speed is given N as 1410, and Ns you substitute it as again 1500, and if you do the calculation I would be getting 0.06. If I want to convert it in percentage, then just multiply 100 as they have done here, it will be 6%. So the percentage slip is 6%. Okay, so we calculated slip as well as synchronous speed. Now we shall see another problem. A 4-pole 3-phase 50 Hz star connected induction motor has a full load slip of 4%. Calculate full load speed of the motor. Okay, so here speed N is asked, and that too at full load. Okay, now for with, remember always if they ask speed at full load or slip at full load or something, always each and every parameter I insert in the slip formula should be with respect to full load itself. Okay, now I shall write the values. P is equal to 4, F is equal to 50 Hz, whereas full load slip is 4%. If I convert and remove the percentile, means it would be 0.04. Okay, and again now the question is to calculate full load speed. Okay, so it's nothing but what? N, not Ns. Okay, so we have formula here, just take it as a normal formula. S is equal to Ns minus N divided by Ns, but since they are asking you to calculate full load speed of the motor, so I shall write suffix as FL here. If I write FL here means the slip would change in terms of slip at full load. Okay, so here I don't know what NFL is or what NS is or what SFL is. So SFL is given in the formula, so I'll substitute SFL as 0.04, and again one more parameter I need to calculate NFL. So NS I need to calculate. The formula you know, NS equal to 120 f by p. Substitute frequency as 50, p as 4, you will be getting 1500 rpm, and substitute back in the formula, main formula, and again do the calculation. After doing the calculation, your full load speed at full load slip 4% will be 1440 rpm. So this is the full load speed of the motor. Okay, we shall go into the another problem. Okay, here do remember this formula. It is just like your transformer ratio formula, where E2 is the EMF induced in the rotor, where E1 is the EMF induced in the primary. That is primary in sense stator. You can consider stator as primary as well as your rotor as secondary. E2 is with respect to rotor and E1 is with respect to stator. So K is equal to E2 by E1, or also you can write in terms of rotor turns per phase divided by stator turns per phase, that is N2 by N1. It is similar formula to that of your transformer ratio. Okay, now we shall go with this problem. A three-phase induction motor with star-connected rotor has an induced electromotive force of 60 volt between slip rings. See, slip rings it is not just slip rings. So it is a slip ring induction motor. Remember, whenever you come across slip rings, then that particular motor is not just ordinary induction motor or three-phase induction motor. It will be a slip ring induction motor. And we came to know that there is a potential of EMF of 60 volt between slip rings. Basically, if it is a 3-phase induction motor means we'll be having three slip rings. And they have given condition at standstill on open circuit with normal voltage applied to the stator. The resistance and standstill leakage reactance of each rotor phase per phase they are given. So each and every calculation we are doing with respect to per phase only. So rotor resistance is 0.6 ohm and rotor reactance is 0.4, sorry, just 4 ohm. Remember, it is a standstill. Okay, it's very important whether it is a running condition or whether it is standstill condition. That makes important aspect here. So R2 is 0.6 whereas X2 is 4 ohm. It is not X2R, it is X2. Why? Because it is not running. It is given here clearly standstill. So calculate the current per phase in the rotor during the condition when it is at standstill and connected to a resistance of 5 ohm and reactance of 2 ohm per phase. They are asking current to be calculated per phase in the rotor. So here the resistance 5 ohm as well as 2 ohm I am going to connect to the rotor part and not the stator part. It's clearly mentioned current per phase in the rotor means these two things will be connected in the rotor part and not the stator part. Okay. And second question, per phase value. Okay. Second question, when running with a slip of 4% with its rotor terminals short circuited. Okay. So I have to short the rotor terminals for the second case. Here also for the slip percent of 4%, I need to calculate the rotor current I2. Precisely it is I2R. Why? Because it is running condition. Here it is just I2. Why it is just I2? Because the condition stands still. Okay. Now let us go with the problem. So we know that the EMF between the slip rings is what? 60 volt. Like I said, they haven't mentioned whether it is line voltage or phase voltage. So let us assume by default this 60 voltage as line voltage itself. If they would have given phase voltage means they would be mentioning here. Since they haven't mentioned any line or phase here, so we shall assume this is a line voltage 60 volt. Any of between springs it will be line itself again by default. So E2 line is 60 volt. As we know that how come we came to know that it is a E2? Because we know that slip rings are connected to these 3-phase induction motors, and again these slip rings are again connected back to the rotor 3-phase winding. So each phase will be having R by B. I mean the three phase the rotor will be having, that is R by B. Again these 3 phases will be brought out and it will be connected to the permanently connected to the slip rings. Again to the slip rings we are going to connect either external resistance or you can short it depending upon your need and all. So they are telling electromotive force, that is voltage is 60 volt between slip rings, means between two phases, any two phases the voltage is 60 volt. If between two phases if they are saying means it is between it is actually in the rotor part. So in the rotor part we have E2 and not E1, so we are taking E2 here, not E1. Okay, everything whatever he has given here, it is given, it is with respect to the rotor part. In the rotor what exists? E2 exists, and again precisely it is E2 line between, because we are measuring the voltage between two lines, it is 60 volt. And R2 they have already given that it is 0.6 whereas X2 is 4. It is not X2R. Again remember, there is no any change in the value of R2 though it is running or standstill, but there is a change in X2 and X2R depending upon standstill or running. But here it's clearly mentioned the resistance and standstill leakage reactance standstill. Okay, so I'm referring it as X2 as 0.4 ohm, not as X2R equal to 4 ohm. It is just X2 is equal to 4 ohm. And here for the sake of convenience we have drawn just one phase. Like this we will be having 3 phase. So per phase if you draw the diagram of this rotor part, this whatever you are seeing it is a rotor part. So we know EMF is induced. Again rotor consists of resistance as well as reactance. Again first condition what they are told, they're going to connect a resistance of 5 ohm as well as 2 ohm as a reactance in per phase. So I'm assuming that RXB 5 ohm whereas XXB 2 ohm, which I'm going to connect to the rotor part. I'm going to short the circuit. So by doing this what happens, there is a flow of current I2, not I2R. Why? Because it is clearly told you are supposed to calculate the current per phase at the standstill. So it is not I2R, it is just I2. If it is running means running condition means I would have written it as I2R, and this would be X2R, whereas this would be XXR. Okay, since the case is for standstill, I shall go with the problem. So Rx value, as like I said, it is 5 ohm, whereas Xs is 2 ohm. Fine, which is connected externally through the slip ring. Okay, whatever these things are connected is with respect to the slip rings itself. Okay, now you can see that this already given the problem. So since it is a line voltage and we need calculation with respect to per phase, see current per phase. So I'm going to convert this E, since it is star connected, and we know that phase voltage and line voltage relation is what? V phase equal to VL by root 3, or E2 phase equal to E2 line by root 3, and E2 line is 60 volt. So substitute here. So I'm going to get what? E2 per phase as 34.641 volt. Okay, for star connection we know that V phase equal to VL by root 3. If it was a delta connection, means you could have written it as E2 phase equal to E2 line. But since you can see that it is a star connected rotor, and whatever the parameters I'm calculating with is with respect to rotor, so this is very important. Okay, now basic formula, you know that I2 is equal to E2 divided by R2 plus JX2, whereas plus Rx plus JXX. Okay, so in that manner itself I'm going to calculate I2. So let us calculate the total impedance of this whole circuit. So total impedance is equal to R2 plus JX2 plus Rx plus JXS. Again substitute the R2 value as 0.6, it is already given, and X2 value as 4, that is J4, imaginary 4, imaginary part, whereas Rx is 5, it is given, whereas Xs is 2, it is given. Substitute here and add 5 plus 0.6, it will be 5.6, and again add this to, it is J6. Now like I said, we have a formula I2 equal to E2 by ZT, or ZT means something but it's a total impedance, otherwise you could have written it as R2 plus JX2. Again it would be so lengthy. So what we do is we just solve it and again write it out. So here, since it is a having real part as well as imaginary part, we shall just calculate the magnitude of it. So how we can calculate magnitude? Just take mod of this, take square root, and individual squares will result you the magnitude. This is how they have done here, 5.6 square, whereas 6 square plus 6 square square root, and the I2 is 4.2207 during standstill and not running. If it was running, means it would be written as I2R. Again this value would change, okay, depending upon slip and all. Now the second condition is we're going to calculate the current flowing in the rotor, that is I2, but it is now at the condition of running. Okay, so we're going to have the running condition here. So now remember, it would be now again same circuit is here. Before it was just E2 here, now it is S into E2. S into E2 is nothing but what? E2R. Actually E2R is equal to S times of E2, which we have already discussed in the earlier classes. So it is E2R is equal to S into E2. Like I said, R2 remains R2 itself. Doesn't matter whether your motor is running or standstill. And what about this? Yes, this reactance will change in terms of X2R. So X2R formula is what? S times of X2. What about here? Here previous case what they have done, they have added Rx as well as Xs in the circuit as per the given question. But here they just told that rotor terminals are short circuited without any Rx or Xs. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to short it without any Rx or Xx. Okay. Again one parameter they have given here, slip is 4% during running condition. See, slip will come into picture only during running. Okay, again during standstill and all, slip will be 1. Remember that. Okay, S is equal to always 1. So here it is running, condition is 4% slip, and again the value will be 0.04 if you remove the percentile. And again we have formula here, Z2R equal to R2 plus A62, like I said earlier, and just write down I2R is equal to E2R by Z2R, and E2R you know that is S times of E2, and Z2R is square root of R2 square plus A62 whole square, and just substitute the value which I got earlier, S equal to 0.04, whereas E2 is 34.641 per phase, which you already calculated, and substitute R2 is equal to 0.6, whereas X2 it is given again, S is given, substitute it, and again we'll get the answer it as 2.2314 ampere. This is the rotor current during the running condition. And one thing you can observe here is, here during the standstill and all, the current is high because it draws more current to overcome the inertia and all, and again during the running condition and all, current is less.